Let me fix my hair. What's up, guys? It's your boy. Bam. Right bottom of your jaw, knock you right on the floor. Guys, it's your boy Jim Rat Crypto. This is Crypto in the Morning, the most comprehensive, the most consistent, the most balls deep DeFi show that there is. We talk about all the good stuff. We don't skip corners. We don't get paid, shilled, nothing. We learn, we provide value, and that's all we do here. Guys, let's get to it, okay? First of all, we have a special guest today. His name is Jake. His Twitter, we want to post his YouTube link real quick so we can get, he has like 15 subs till he gets to 1K. So he's got like 15 subs, but I'm going to need Bullish probably to drop it in the link. He'll drop it in, oh, here it is. Go subscribe to Jake's channel, guys, real quick. He's a Hexagon, and come on. He likes bodybuilding. He likes dating. He dresses well. He does all this stuff right. Let's get him in here, okay? Let's talk. He's almost at 1,000 subs, guys. Real quick, I want you to share this out. I am going to post my tweet that I tweeted so that we can get this party started, guys. I'm a show host, guys. I got to do these things. You understand? This is how it works. Copy link, pop it over. Guys, if you could do me a quick favor, just go on Twitter and share that out. I have a lot of Twitter action, so I like when it gets shared out on Twitter. Sometimes random people find it, so it is cool. Guys, let's get straight into it. I had an absolutely great day. When I woke up this morning, the first thing I did was start taking pictures of my calves, okay? I immediately went to the mirror. I saw the light shining through the window. I saw the opportunity. I put my leg in front of the mirror. And I cranked that bitch, okay? I cranked it. That's called no pump. That's no pump. Yeah, I got a fresh shave on the legs. Yeah, I do, okay? Guys, go to my Instagram. Check out my alien gains. I guarantee one of those will go off on TikTok or something. I posted on everything. I want to see if that can go off somewhere. I've seen videos like that go off before. So, it's just that's just a fun thing. All this is fun, guys. We're going to get into it. We're going to meet Jake. We're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about making money, e-commerce, your appearance. Why is it important to keep your appearance a certain way? Why is it, if you looked at a picture of me when I was 15, you were not thinking somebody that was going to be considered attractive was forming. But I decided to take it amongst myself to do whatever I could because I know that there's social value there. Anyway, guys, we're going to talk. I'm going to jump into the song here. Bullish, I'm putting my hands up in the air. You play with.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hex and I'm making a stay. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim Reddit sent me to show you the way. DeFi Pro, yeah. Crypto in the morning. 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 Crypto in the morning.
What's good, Jake? What's good, brother? How you doing? I'm excited to talk to Jake. I'm excited to talk about e-commerce. I'm curious to hear about his experience with all that. And I think everybody listening will get a lot of value out of the conversation around, there we go, around the appearance.
Easy.
Right? Because there's a big opportunity there. A lot of people think one way around their appearance, and they don't realize that it is tremendously impactful or can be tremendously impactful. And at the tail half, we're going to touch on some arbitrage that is currently available in the marketplace, did an entire video on this. We got a little bit later today. Yeah, arbitrage, dude. Maxi, Hex,
DeFi proof
and
in the house.
Hedron.
Thank you for that song, DeFi proof. Come on.
Thank you, sir.
DeFi proof. Come on. You know how many people are in my DMs asking, how do I contact DeFi proof? Look, I'm going to be 100%. I don't even think I told Bullish this yet, so I'll just say it live. My DMs were flooded before. My DMs are now flooded with people that want to interact with DeFi proof, which is fantastic. I just send them over, you know. But guys, I don't know. I ain't gonna ask this dude to do nothing for you. I haven't met him like that. We only did one show together. Bullish is his guy. If you want to talk to him, you got to talk to Bullish. Or
I'm not his guy. He has people. But if anyone's interested in working with DeFi Proof, follow him on Twitter, DeFi Proof. If anyone wants a custom song done for whatever it is, reach out to him. He offers that as a service. Sign up to his podcast. Sign up to his Telegram group, The Sauce, if you want to connect with him.
Yeah, that dude's a whiz, man. Don't get it twisted for half a second.
That song is fire. I like that song a lot. It's pretty dope. You know, throughout the beginning, those lyrics that he came up with I like those a lot. And I'm curious to see what else he's able to create and build over the next decade, because I personally don't know anybody else that's singing or rapping about crypto.
I'm not shorting DeFi proof. I'm long on DeFi proof. I told Bullish that this morning.
I was with DeFi Proof last night until 2 a.m. That guy gets to the bag. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, he does. He's a hustler, and God, we love those kind of guys because they don't stop and they don't make excuses. There's no excuses. Like, it's just like, I could do it again today, and I will. I love those guys because they never stop. It's incredible. It's incredible. I'm like that too, but like in a different way, you know. Like I tell people all the time. I posted that crazy calf picture on YouTube, and I said, if you're shorting me, like, you're in trouble. Like, you're in huge trouble. Like, look at my cat. Like, I don't even eat. Like, I need bread and water. Literally bread and water at this point. I've learned to feel myself to the point where it's like this, like, I'm a man. I want to step up. I don't care what I need to do. This is my time. And I think every guy goes through these kind of moments in their life in different ways. But anyway, we got to get on. We got to get on with the show. We could talk all day about all this stuff. But
let's bring in our special guest, who also, I believe, is into fitness to a little bit of a degree.
Oh, wrong special guest.
That looks like he looks like Platter. Jake in the house. What's good, bro? How you doing?
How are you doing? Cashflowforlife.io.
I'm doing good. I like you guys. We have a lot of the same interests, so this is going to be a good show.
Yes.
Real quick before Sam gets into it, because I'm going to shut up for a minute. Tell us about yourself, how you've interacted with business, how you've interacted with how you got into crypto, some of your background, and real quick, cashflowforlife.io. Fill me in on that too, if you don't mind, if it's quick. Just give us your little, for the people that don't know you, and if you're not subscribed to him, you better do that right now.
Yep. So to give a bit of backstory, everybody that watched my YouTube already kind of knows, but I do the flexing thing like Richard Hart. So I used to work at several startups as like a lead software engineer, so I have a very strong dev background, which is what people seem to like a lot about my perspectives about Pulse Chain, because I approach everything from a dev background. I had a marketing agency. I worked with info product brands. I managed millions of dollars of ad spends. I worked with e-commerce companies as well. So this whole like online YouTube influencer, e-commerce coaching space is like, I basically know it to the back of my hand. And those are the type of people I talk to on Twitter. And those are the type of people who are also into crypto, and they come in with the big money. Like nowadays it's young money. Like new money is on the rise, man. So the marketing agency background, developer background, and I'm just a very analytical, logical dude. I also met Richard Hart in person. He's an amazing dude. I love the guy. One thing I want to make clear is I'm not a Hex OG at all. Like, I made $0 off of Richard Hart. I just love his philosophy. I love his values. I love what he stands for. I love his live streams.
That's where we're at too. That's exactly where we're at too. Like, yeah. I mean, yes, I've definitely gained financially from a little bit, but like, if I tell everyone all the time, if Richard disappeared and Hex disappeared, my life would change this much. this much. So that's why I think people also respond to the channel, because it's like me and Sam, we don't give a fuck. I don't care about Richard. I don't know Richard. I'm not saying he's not the man. I watched every single live stream the dude's ever done. He's a genius. And the amount of value that dude has given out for free is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I aspire to provide as much value in the world as a man like that. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I respect the guy, to be honest.
Thanks for that intro, Jay. What were you into? You said right beforehand developing. What were you developing?
So the one where I spent the most time was where we developed applications, so web application, mobile applications for big conglomerates like grocery chains and stuff like that. So mostly app development. I was kind of, the developers will know, there's a full stack developer, so I did the server code and the front end code. Yeah, full stack developers, baby.
What does that mean to non-developer people?
I love you even more now because I'm a full stack too.
See, the devs know. So a full stack developer is basically somebody who can code the entire thing, who can code the actual server that talks to the front end. The front end just being the URL you go to. So they can code the logic and the back end that calculates everything, that then spits it out to the website that everybody uses, the application that people interact with. And they can write that front end, they can design that front end, and they can actually write the server code. So the reason full stack developers are so popular nowadays is because everything is so abstracted. Meaning people are no longer writing like system code and like 0 and 1s and stuff like that. It's like very abstracted languages. And nowadays, if you just learn JavaScript, you can become a full stack developer because everything can be written in JavaScript nowadays.
So what languages are you delving into in general?
I know a couple, but I love JavaScript because you can do everything with it nowadays. If you know JavaScript, you're more than set to go.
Hey, there you go, devs. There you go. There's a nice little snippet for you.
Same advice I give everyone else. Learn JavaScript, you'll pick up anything else.
Hey,
yep.
The first time I heard, not saying I wasn't asking the right questions, but that's a great tidbit.
If somebody wanted to, because I've thought about learning a language back in the day, I started to learn Python, and then I just never ended up following through with it. If somebody was going to, start on that path of learning, because I think that there's a tremendous opportunity for developers today. Like it seems like there's a ton of opportunity because everybody's going to be needing those people or needs those people today, right? Like back in the day was something else, and it keeps switching. They got some love in the chat. Where would somebody start to like learn that kind of stuff? And would you say they would start with Java and then just move forward from there? There's like courses just like there is with everything else.
So that's actually a very good question. When it comes to like if you want to become a dev, so it's actually kind of funny how I got into developing. It takes like 10 seconds. Can I go over it?
Yeah, go take your time.
Yeah. So
give us context.
I always wanted to become like a very big entrepreneur. My ambition is absolutely freaking massive. That's also why I look up to Richard Hart. The dude speaks to me a lot because of that. Like the guy wants to start his own country. Can I get more ambitious than that? Jesus Christ, dude. And so if you want to learn development, I was watching a video. I think it was like an interview with Steve Jobs. And the guy basically said, if you want to learn how to think, learn how to code. And at that point, everything just clicked for me. And that's when I basically self-taught myself to be a developer. I locked myself in a room. And I have this skill called meta learning. So I can acquire skill sets extremely quickly. I have like systems for that. So I locked myself in a room and I basically taught myself how to become a software engineer in 4 months. And after 4 months, I literally got hired as a lead software engineer because I was already at that skill set, which usually takes like 4 to 5 years of formal education. I don't believe in formal education. I think it's horseshit.
I think you're speaking to the right audience about that.
Exactly. I taught everything myself. And here's my kind of take on it. If you have money, you want to learn the logic behind developing. You don't want to learn the syntax because you want to hire people. You want to do high leverage activities. But if you don't have money, learning how to do the syntax, learning how to actually write the code, dude, there's so much opportunity, especially in the Web3 space. So if you don't have money, dude, it's an amazing career path.
So where for the logic portion of things to learn that, because that's something that like the semantics of the actual writing of it is not something that was super necessarily interesting to me, but like understanding that a higher level, like the logic portion of it, and then being able to talk to somebody who can actually do it for me, it's far more appealing to me at the stage of where I'm at. Where are some resources for me to go to? Are you Dutch or Scottish?
I'm pretty go ahead.
Yeah, where's the accent? Blue Bum needs to know.
Everybody needs to know. I keep it private.
Yeah, no,
I've heard.
It's okay. Yeah, you keep it private.
I've heard Irish, Scottish, South African, Estonian, Russian, Polish. I've heard it all.
Yep. No, that's good.
I love it.
That's good. But,
So what
go-
about what about like a book or a resource for learning the logic portion of things at a higher level?
That's a very good question, because the way you learn the logic is through problem solving. So being a developer and being a Google Sheets nerd is basically the same thing. If you can understand Google Sheets, you understand how to problem solve, how numbers work together, how data kind of gets jumbled together, and then you can make useful information out of the data, right? That's basically what programming is. It's basically problem solving. Like when we used to develop, like programmers will know this, on the back of your laptop, you would have these stickers. That was kind of like the dev swag, And one of my stickers was think twice, code once. I would literally lock myself in a room for an hour and think through all of the problems before I ever touch my keyboard.
Jeez.
And that's what the best do. That's how they work. That's why legit Hard is so smart, because he can develop, but he's like out of touch with the syntax, but he has the developer mind, and that's the power.
Yeah, it's really just the way that I've learned stuff, because I'm not a developer of any sorts, and I don't do any of that stuff. But I want to learn, and I have been trying to learn, and I know the verbiage enough now that I can get around to talk about it, at least. Like I can talk to another dev and understand what they're saying. But my whole thing, what was I saying? Damn it.
About developer, and not how you're going through the process of learning.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just you have to go step by step. It's just a value. Like with crypto, it's kind of like the more you learn, it's just like number travel. Like it's just like it's very step by step. It's very 1 + 1 goes here. And the more I learn about crypto, the easier it is to learn crypto, because you're just like, it's not complicated. Like Hedron, when I first heard about it, I was like, what is this? And then once you learn about it, you're like, it's an HSI stake in a front end. It's like, so now that I'm learning more, I'm getting so excited because I'm new to crypto. I'm new to tech. I don't do any of this stuff. But I know how things work, and I can think through things. And crypto is just like the Wild West, where guys like me can come in and make an impact, because there's there's room for everyone in crypto. It's really weird.
So if I wanted to, we're going to get into it a little bit later, but if I wanted to create a bot that like searched for when our opportunity was available, and then automatically took advantage of that, what's like the thinking, or how would one go about doing that?
This is a very delicate topic. So when it comes to that stuff, okay, here's I've personally had friends that did this. So what happens with developers is they kind of figure out this crypto space. Oh, you can make money here. Oh, and it's numbers. It's only numbers. I know numbers, so I'll program around it. So almost every good dev starts writing his own bot. And then they do the bot thing, they run the script, and then they start losing money. The thing is, there's so many quantitative hedge funds that specialize in arbitrage opportunities, that have the highest speed computers in the world, that do things in milliseconds you can't even imagine on a normal internet connection. They have the smartest brains because they have all of the money in the world. And I think it's a waste of time for devs to be focusing on arbitrage opportunities. If you want to be a dev, learn about finances, learn about economics, and then do your own project, whether that be the NFT space, if you want to do it in crypto, whether that be the token space, whatever you want to do. But that's where I think the real opportunity is. I wouldn't waste time doing bot arbitrages, because there's people with way more money than you and way faster things.
But there's massive opportunity. Like if I can find opportunities, and I'm not even paying attention to it full time, like it is out there. I've talked to people who've made over $250,000 just doing arbitrage in one trade. Like there's massive opportunities out there to take advantage of this.
Yeah.
There's arb happening in legacy all the time, and the discrepancy in prices in crypto are much greater than they are in legacy, just because there's less eyeballs and there's less people looking for those. But from a more of a standpoint of actually creating the bot, how would one go about actually doing that?
Yeah, like if you had your resources, let's just say perfect world, and you had the way you wanted it.
To be honest, I would just get in and I would get in touch with a dev and pay him. I think that's the best way, because by the time you've learned how to code, by the time you've learned how to like interact with smart contracts and that whole like learning curve, the ARB opportunity might be gone. So it's better off paying for somebody's knowledge and just getting it built. But you have to make sure it's profitable, you know, that the arbitrage is big enough. But that's my take on it. If you want to write it yourself, you're going to make very costly mistakes, because also if you want to play with your money, you're probably putting your private keys at risk. And it only needs to happen 1 millisecond where your private key gets leaked and you lose everything. So I don't think it's worth the risk. That's kind of my thing.
So yes, and again, just as a precursor, all this, Sam is a weirdo and he is a mathematician in a sense. So like his brain's very sticky for those numbers. So like for the new guys in here that don't really know specifically what's going on, arbing is not where your head wants to go first, you know, like, because you need to understand what's going on. Come on, guys, you got to get there first, and then whatever your little rat brain wants to do, go ahead and do it. But I'm telling you, crypto, once you get the hang of it, it's very simple as far as understanding, at least for me. Like, we went through Cold Down. I think I understood it in about an hour and a half, you know, and I still feel like I understood it it the same way I did that day. So it's good to know, like, as I go, like, what Hedron took me 3 weeks to learn, literally, because I was just newer then. I was like, it just doesn't make 100% sense yet. And again, I'm showing everyone on this show how I'm learning, and like that's kind of where I'm coming from. But you can do it. I like to impress people as well. So
I'm gonna find them, Hexacat, and I'm gonna share them with you guys as I do them. And be like, hey, this opportunity was there, and this is how much money I made, and I'll show you guys. Because most people don't actually understand arbitrage. Like a lot of people don't understand it. Like you might understand it, and like other people, but like the masses in crypto. And remember, when I say masses, like you got to put that into context. It's people in crypto is pretty small relative to the general population. So the people in crypto, a lot of those people just don't understand arbitrage or whatever. But what were you going to say, GRC?
Okay, so this is a side tangent, and this will just make us laugh. This is just a purely funny thing. So let's get our funny brains on. Did anyone see that effing masterpiece that person put together with RH's face on that ostrich in that funny meme? Oh my God. Can someone post? I have to show. There's not a lot in this world that makes me actually laugh. Like laugh, you know, Sam, like we're pretty hard. Like we it has to be pretty gross or funny, right? Like for us to really give it a good laugh. And I was expecting this to be the most dumb meme ever, and it was so funny. It was Hexagate. That's right. I got to pull it up. But go ahead and keep talking while I pull that up. It's actually a long meme. I'm going to play it. I don't care if the rate.
You find that. So Jake, what are you doing full time now? Like, what is the most amount your energy focused on right now? Your YouTube?
Right now, yeah, my YouTube. That's the big thing. I want to get that pretty big. So one thing I kind of want to make clear to like the Hexagon people is I'm not here to take Richard Hart's audience. I have enough skill sets to bring in my own community. But the thing that I like about like the whole like Pulsicon Hexagon community is, dude, the engagement is off the charts. It's the best foundation ever to build a channel. Because the way YouTube works is if you have a channel and you have good information and people engage in the comments and they have a high retention rate, that it takes you from your pocket of like hexagons on YouTube. And then people engage and people comment and people like, because people like Jimrad and Sam and me, we're here putting our face on camera. We're putting our reputations on the line. We are doing our jobs as content creators to put our face on here. Literally, all you guys have to do is take this thing called a mouse, scroll down a little bit, press subscribe, press like, tick on your keyboard a little bit. That's your job.
Can you touch on what, because my motivation for YouTube might be different for you. I'm more so curious about, because there's no... People always say like, this isn't the way you're going to make money. And I totally agree. Like, but you kind of have to punch harder than that. You know what I mean? Like I punch hard. Like I think of being the best at it, right? I want to be the best crypto YouTuber that ever lived. You're going to tell me that guy's not going to make a lot of money? The best crypto. So that's where
there's so much money in personal
brands.
Well,
that's where my brain goes. And I tell people already my ethos, they'll trust me the whole way and I will never waver. I will never waver because I understand reputation better than anything in my life. Reputation has always been the most valuable currency in my life. I've made sure that everyone I interacted with had a good experience. I made sure that everyone I interacted with said, this guy has potential and I would like to work with him in the future. I made sure that's what I present to everyone that I meet. I learned that young because I was like, I'm not going to compete with these brainiacs over here. They follow the rules. I don't follow the rules. Like, so I said, what am I going to do? I'm going to be the guy with the most social currency, because I was just hedge my bet the other way. I was like, screw it. Like, I'm going to hedge my bet the other way, see what happens. And then you come to this point where I have so much more social experience than most people that I can really get around any kind of topic. But really, my motivation for YouTube would be to, yes, be very extremely large.
Yeah, and then you make a crap ton of money. So the thing is, I hate people who hate on people making money. Like, what is wrong with them? If you're providing value to the world, you're making people's life better, of course you should be rewarded. Like, what is up with this like whole like socialistic crap? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we hate that shit here.
Dude, I hate it as well. I think Richard Hart even said it on stream. Like, if people are making people's lives better, they're making them smarter and they're getting paid for it. Dude, the world is better off because of it.
And
There's absolutely
people,
nothing wrong with
when
that.
someone pays for something, they care more.
Trust me, yeah.
100%.
I will not give a dude personal bodybuilding advice anymore. Like, someone who reaches out to me and he's like, hey, I want to lose like 100 pounds or something. I'm like, how much money you got? Literally, I'll be like, what do you got in the bank? Because we could do this all the way. But you think I'm going to do this for anything but like an expensive amount? You're crazy. Like, why?
But it has to go through because that commits them. Because otherwise, you'll tell them the information. You'll spend an hour or 2 hours.
It commits me. I'm like, this dude's providing me value. I got to help my guy out all day long or whatever it is. Guys, I'm going to play this to switch it up. Sam, come up with a question. We'll think about a question for you. I want to get into more about making money in general, right? Like, I don't want to get like, we don't have to talk about ARB or like this or that, but like e-commerce is more like, I want to learn a little bit about this kind of stuff, because I'm thinking about doing some things where I'm selling product, and that's going to be happening soon. So I just want to know, like, Sam really mentions the numbers a lot, and he always mentions like e-commerce is there's just no choice, right? It's just like black and white as far as the numbers. But is it a good business model in general if you do it right? Is that something that you've seen many people be successful in? I heard you had experience. That's the only reason I ask you. I'm going to play this really absurdly long meme, and everyone's going to laugh. And if you don't like it, get the frick away.
This is an ostrich meme.
All right, play this, boy. He might not be there.
Females of
Oh,
the
yeah.
Like you will sing it.
with the largest eyes of any land-living animal, they assess his every detail. The pinkness of his shins, the shininess of his black feathers, the pinkness of his shoes indicate his sexual quality. But he has yet to pass a crucial test. The females lead him on a chase, testing his stamina. And they can run at speeds of 40 miles an hour. All he has to do is to keep up. One of the females slows, and once again he tries to win her over. But again, she seems indifferent. Now he has only one trick left.
Bro, where do you fucking get these things, dude?
Okay. It's working fabulously.
At last, he seems to be getting some attention. She flicks her wings, a sign that she is impressed.
Bro,
I had no idea that part was at the end.
bro, like that. Ridiculous.
That's all that Twitter. That's all that guy on Twitter does is like every month he comes out with like a funny video like that. About
Bro, I was gonna say, like, how much time did he put into that? He's got to like with each individual shot. Like, I don't know. Right?
That was funny. Yep. Okay, so let's that was funny. We got everyone excited.
All these shenanigans are working though.
Yes, if you look,
I started doing some deep dives. It's working. All these shenanigans are working.
Where are they getting these stats, by the way?
I won't say it here, but I'll tell you behind the scenes. This is a paid third-party service that I use. You're probably familiar with it.
Okay, got it.
So we're talking about 1.721 potential impacts. That means how many people have scrolled by it at least. 401 total contributors, 1.25 total tweets per contributor. I don't know what any of that stuff means, but the top sounds pretty lit. 1.7. Hey, Richard, keep twerking. Do whatever you want, buddy. Do whatever.
So are you when you're doing your are you using your YouTube to create like an e-commerce brand off of your YouTube, or what is your like? Are you doing an e-commerce on the backside separately?
So depends. What is your definition on e-commerce to make sure that we're talking about the same thing?
I'm just talking about like selling merch more so. Just that's where my mind would go at.
Selling
got it.
anything. I would say selling like almost anything.
Yeah, supplements, merch, anything that I have my name attached to.
So I specialize. I've learned to specialize because that's the way. I'm an ad guy. I like being able to run things to cold audiences, people that don't know you, and be able to convert them into something that makes their life better. That's my skill set. And if you want to optimize for cold, you want to have something that is very impactful. And I like the way that Jim had said it. Like I think last year I paid $35,000 to join a mastermind. You bet your ass I took that shit seriously, and you bet your ass I made money. And the people that hate on people investing in themselves, I fucking despise them. And if you are that person, please unfollow me. They're the biggest losers ever. Because my best friend, he's a coach as well. He invested into a mastermind. He paid like, what was it again? Like 6,000 or whatever. And he has a 20K a month business now. I mean, it's the people who put their skin in the game that get results. And when I joined the mastermind, I wasn't like, okay, the knowledge in here is going to be absolutely amazing. I'm just like, okay, I'm not paying necessarily to join the mastermind. I'm paying to take it seriously. I'm paying to put skin in the game. I'm paying to like finally put how do you say it? Draw a line in the sand, and it's like, okay, this is where my life changes. You know, there's no way back. There's no plan B. And that's what a lot of these like high ticket programs do for people. And then because it's high ticket, one, you can earn profit on ad spend. You can help way more people. You can reach millions and millions of eyeballs, because it's these people that. Okay, so here's kind of my frame on it. It's a very selfish thing to not want to sell and make people's life better. Because the thing is, these traders, these scammers, these people who run like these scam paid groups that just get people wrecked of their life savings, they are louder than you. They can spend money on ads because they're willing to sell people. Would you rather have you be able to be there to help them, spend that money, have that business, to be able to be louder than them, you know? So I think it's a very selfish thing to be against selling. I think sales is the thing that changes the world. Yeah, I believe sales is the best skill in the world. And so my goal with YouTube is I don't hold anything back on my free content. I'm like, here's everything. And it's only like the people that want to work on me one-on-one. I'm going to build an outbound team that reaches out to like high net worth individuals, and I'll help them with crypto and stuff like that. So that's kind of my end game. It's more of a credibility play than an actual like, hey, direct ROI from my channel.
Yeah. Okay. And it could be
that's how I think of it too. Like not with the one-on, like I haven't gotten that far as the business part of it. But when I think about it, I'm like, I just want the credibility. I'm going to come out with stuff in the future once I'm done studying, once I'm done learning. Because I tell everyone where I'm at. I don't lie like, you know how everyone lies. I could say I'm a millionaire. I could say whatever the hell I want. But I decide to tell people the exact truth about what I go through on a day-to-day. People, I could have just said, I have wallets. People don't know. Nobody knows me. But no, I wanted to get involved in the community. I wanted to be honest. I wanted to tell people where I was at so I could actually learn. You know what I mean? And so I think for me, it's a credibility thing. I know people are going to want to do business with me in the future. 100%. They already do. They already flood my shit. And I usually just tell them I'm not there yet. And I'm not, because I want to do my own shit. I don't want to do their shit.
It was funny what Jake was saying. So in the first part, there was like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I started a real estate wholesaling business, and I just moved to a new state, and I paid somebody $5,000 for coaching. Utter trash, like in my opinion, but it wasn't to do with the coaching necessarily. It was to do with the commitment for myself, right? Because like I was like, I could run this shit better than he was, right? In my opinion, right? But it was the commitment to myself to actually go through and follow what I needed to do, because guys, it's literally just taking action, executing every single day, period, for the rest of your life, achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. But on, I forgot what I was going to say about the other thing, but it was definitely a good point. I think that when you look at a business or selling, I think it's Russell Brunson has a saying that he says, who is a marketer, he's built $100 million business for a SaaS business, right? Which, so the multiple on that, he could probably sell it for $1 billion or something. But he has a saying that the entrepreneurs are the people who are going to actually go through and change the world because of what they're selling, because they're trying to impact the world in a positive way. And the people who are scamming are just going to continue scamming. But the people who are trying to provide value need to speak up, like they need to be louder. Just yesterday or 2 days ago, I posted something on Twitter about getting into like SHIB, Doge, call, ADA and Solana, getting into those communities. And I was like, let me get into these communities to see if this helps me grow even faster. And it did. And I was like, okay, this is working. Hey guys, this is what I did. It's working. I'm growing faster. I've got more engagement and more followers by doing this. And somebody comments something along the lines of, oh, so you're infiltrating these communities and then spouting BS. And I was like, yeah, I would much rather them hear my BS, which is the actual truth, than garbage from you or somebody else in that community. Like 100%. Because there's always going to be somebody out there who is just broken inside, or who just doesn't have the same life philosophy to go through and provide value and to go out and like impact people in a positive way. So you want to build out or you're in the process of building out your coaching thing for marketing or for life, or are you going to have a specific direction with that?
Yeah, it's going to be a crypto thing. It's going to be 100% around crypto, because that's cool. I've kind of learned that like crypto is like it's sort of built into me. The first time I heard about crypto, it just like it clicked because of my dev background, the marketing background, numbers, analytics, my mind, my personality type, and also because of Richard Hart, I realized that the way we change the world is through crypto. It's giving power back to the people. So my goal is to build a company to have enough credibility on YouTube and then be able to run ads to a call funnel and then just get on the phone with people and be like, hey, where are you at in life? Where do you want to go to? Do you think we can help? Cool. Here's the offer. You want to work with us or not? And then build out a sales team and do it that way. I like these human to human businesses where you can actually hop on a call with somebody and be like, so I did high ticket coaching personally, not with clients, like 4 clients with the agency, but like personally. And I did peak performance coaching for like multimillionaires. And I had 12 clients, and it was fucking incredible. It was amazing. And these people were like, here's my money. Hell yeah. And then we worked together. And a lot of the time it was just like, dude, I'm just happy I have somebody to talk to about this shit, because I have nobody around me that is like, that has the same ambitions as me, that want to do big things. So a lot of the times these coaching relationships are just like, dude, it's like just having somebody to talk to that is ahead of you in a certain area. That's like worth all of the money.
And people do it for alone. And people do it for free. Friends, like if you're a savvy guy, I'm not saying like in a situation like that where it's structured, no. But like there are people, if you reach out and you're very hustly, like I'm a very hustly guy. I reach out to hundreds of people a day. I just do. I can't help myself. But guys, like if you have a lot of potential and kinetic energy, and in the situation that I'm in, so many guys have helped me, like helped me get better. Just little tidbits here and there. Nothing like full-fledged, but like everyone's been helping me. And if you put yourself in a position where you can provide others value, you learn that they will provide you value back, which is crazy. Because not only do you get like the cash from it and you're helping them and they get tremendous value out of it, because that's the only way I want to do business, and it's the same way, right? But then the cool thing is that years later, like I still have people that reach out to me and call me for advice and just want to chat with me, because now they're doing other cool things in life and we'll talk about other things. So you build these relationships and it's awesome. Like I think that's really cool. Like you're going to do that. That's how I do it. I just go to everyone in my life that's impactful and I provide them value. I remember I wrote down in my journal, I was like, I'm going to find out how to provide Richard Hart some value, because that's what I thought at the time, like would be beneficial. I was just in the Hex community. I wasn't like streaming or nothing. I was like, if I could provide this dude value, that's probably like what he will like retweet me and shit. And that's exactly what he did. Like 2 weeks later, I just kept posting pictures of my body and saying Hex is the best, you know, like, and I love Hex. Like Hex was is still to this day my favorite crypto. So, you know, I want to move on to one subject that I just had it's a developer question. And I was reading about this morning, and I was reading about 51% attacks, and I was reading about what Pulse Chain was going to do different in like some of the code updates that they were doing or like trying to do, but I didn't understand 100% what I was reading. But basically they said at some point they had to switch the code from Solidity, and I can't remember what it was called, the other code, but in order to negate this 51% attack, Sam, or whatever this bug is that probably that Ethereum deals with and every fork deals with, they had to go into a different code. Is that normal? Is that, I just want to know, like, because I was just reading that and I didn't know if it was like something that was like odd or if it was something that was just like standard issue.
I'm not sure if that's the reason they're changing the code, because if they're forking Ethereum kind of already solved that, and I don't think Ethereum had any 51% attacks. I know the only like big thing Ethereum had happened was a DAO hack back in I don't remember the exact year, but that was the biggest like Ethereum event, and it crashed heavily the price as well. But I don't think that's the reason. Where were they? Where did you read that?
I gotta. Well, it was some guy that was explaining that. So, but he also said he wasn't a developer. So,
oh yeah, that's kind of what happens, yeah, because it's very easy to make assumptions. I think that just
can you tell me why though? Like, is that normal? Is that something that would raise a red flag in your? I'm just curious because I just want to like work.
Well, give people context what a 51% attack is, and then get into like, hey.
Well, it's less about that, and like I want to know, like, is it normal to have a code switch within? Like, is it normal to write a code and then have other code attached to it that's not in the same language?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's not an issue. I know the reason that they're switching to Golang instead of Solidity is because Golang is better. So the way I kind of explain this on a video that seems to click with like dudes, it's you have like a 6-cylinder engine and you have like a V6 and a V8. Like a BMW M4 V6, it goes off the line a lot quicker than an AMG V8, like of the same caliber of car. The V6 is amazing from like 0 to 100, and like the V8 is better at higher speeds. So different things are optimized for different things, right? You have databases that are better at reading data, and you have databases that are better at writing data. So Golang is a lot more computationally efficient language, which means, here's, because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is how does this impact users? And the way it impacts users is because it takes less computational load on the actual like computers to do the computation and stuff like that. That would actually mean that the gas fees would go lower. Because they're rewriting it in Golang, I believe that the gas fees will be lower than Ethereum's version that runs Solidity for the validated rotation. I don't even think they have validated rotation because it's proof of work. Because I think other networks that have a proof of stake, which means they have validated rotations, I think those are on Solidity. So the fact that Pulse Chain may be Golang, that also means there's big gas fee reductions. That would be my guess. That's my assumption. So I think it's good. Also, we're in a bear market, so the more delayed it is, the better protected we are. So I don't mind, to be honest. It sucks, but I don't mind.
Smart people seem to think that way. I tell people all the time, give me more time to prepare. I dare you. Like, give me an extra month. Give me an extra 3 months. I'll tell you where I'll be in 3 months.
Even if it's at the end of the year, who gives a shit?
Right? Oh, where will I be at the end of the year? Dominating. Whatever.
Bullish left a comment there.
He said, this is the way I explain it. Golang is optimized for the network, and Solidity is optimized for smart contracts. So, and then we had another guy that said something. He said, people don't realize how difficult it is to develop on the blockchain. I don't know anything about that. The reason why I think they are migrating to Golang from Solidity is so that it is not dependent on the EVM. Does that mean it's not?
Does that ring any bells for you, Jake?
So one of the assumptions that I've seen people make that it's incorrect is the idea that because they're switching so you have the validator rotation and you have the blockchain. Mm-hmm. Those are two different kind of things. So right. When it comes to, so a lot of people think because they're rewriting the validator rotation in Golang that the smart contract language also changes to Golang, but that's not the case.
What is the so you're talking about there's validator language that is different than the blockchain language? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so the best way to kind of explain it that people will get is like when you go on Twitter, twitter.com is a website. And then you have the Twitter server where that's actually that are the tweets and the database and the profiles and the accounts and everything. The Twitter database can be written in a different language than the website. That's basically what the validator rotation and the actual blockchain is. So I think it's still going to be EVM because otherwise it wouldn't be Solidity supported. That would be my guess. But I'm not on the team, so I'm making assumptions. But as long as you can write smart contracts in Solidity, I'm assuming it's still intact. I think that's just like rewriting the validator rotation. That's it. I don't think it's that complicated.
So one thing I'll add to this, and I think he touched on it, that people say that Richard Hart is like very bad at explaining things, but essentially the developers said there was an opportunity for them to optimize and go from Solidity to Golang in order to increase throughput, because at the end of the day, that they both work in different ways and they both optimize for different things. So if you have the opportunity to optimize it and do it before launch, why not do it? So they're just taking the better approach.
Yeah, no, thank you for doing that. Where I'd be curious to check this information out myself. If somebody can leave it down below in the comments or something, because
leave that in the comments. Anything where we can get some info. Me too. I want a video on that. Anything. I know Jake has a video. I wouldn't mind talking about like the macro environment in the crypto space and the financial space, and having you give us your input on that a little bit. Since me and Sam talked with everybody about that at some point, right? And I'm under the impression that altcoins are in trouble, low key on a I don't know what time frame, maybe a year or so. I don't know. I can't tell exactly with the Senate and everything that goes on. But where do you think we're at as far as, do you think like right now, like obviously the public sentiment is Bitcoin's going to have strength against everything else, right? A little bit. And a lot of people, I look at all the big trades, right? I look at the big hex accounts and what they do with their liquid hex. A lot of them right now are swapping into Bitcoin and USDC. Okay, let's not beat around the bush. So in your opinion, what's some of the strategies that you're using in a broad sense? You don't have to get specific at all in an environment like this. And what do you think this environment kind of looks like for you from your perspective?
Okay, so I'll kind of preface with the idea that I'm a scale build systems type of dude. And the way I get my macro information is primarily Whales Only and Orca. Those two dudes are like macro geniuses.
Dude, me too. That same two people, dude.
Dude, they're smart. I love those guys.
So smart.
He needs 9 more subs, guys. Jump over.
9 more subs, dude. Are you kidding me, guys? Go over there right now. Just jump right
I want to hit the 10K. Come on.
Right now.
Yeah, let's go. And so what was the question again?
So macro. Like in general, for guys that are a little bit newer, right? This is my first bear market of any sorts where I had any stake in the game whatsoever. Any bear market before I was just a kid and I was just running around doing whatever I wanted. So right now, I have a stake in the game. I would like to protect my wealth as well, believe it or not, guys. So I have swapped a little bit of some of my accounts, just a little bit, just enough where if something went wrong, I could feel like I had some USDC. I don't like to sell hex, but I had other assets that I sold for USDC, and I felt like that was a good move for where I was at, because if there was a potential dip that was really devastating, I would want to capitalize on that. You know what I mean? But if let's say it just shot up to the moon, I would still be very happy with that outcome. So it's, what do you think about with what you're doing in a general sense and where the market's at in a general sense? Do you see gloom and doom like for the next year or so, or like, do you think?
So I'm actually pretty optimistic on this, to be honest.
Okay.
So, great. So here's kind of the thing, right? So these bear markets, if you look at timing analysis, and of course, like it's different macroeconomics, but I think the first time I kind of heard about this timing analysis was a streamer, Richard Hart, and that Martini guy. And they were doing timing analysis on the cycles of Bitcoin and like the average time frames of like bull markets and bear markets. And it's scary how accurate that is for like timing bottoms and stuff like that. Tops, half and half. Timing bottoms was pretty damn good. Yeah, 999. So the basic idea was the basic idea was that bull markets lasted 820 to 870 days, and bear markets lasted 320 to 380 days. That was kind of the average, which means that
I got you over. I got you over
for a while. Let's go. Nice. As well. Some of them probably recognize my face. Wait, I hear it. I hear an echo.
There's an echo.
That was me. I was your 1K sub. I pulled up your YouTube. I was your 1K.
And I was your 101.
I was your 1K. So any success you have in this life.
Let's go.
All me.
Yeah, so the timing analysis, which means that we've already been in a bear market since like May last year. So it's already been a year. We've kind of gone through the worst of it, in my honest opinion. Are we going to see a capitulation event? Does it really matter? The way I kind of look at bear markets is these are, to be fair, the biggest opportunities of your life, man. The next bear market, prices are going to go in capitulation mode a lot higher than they are now. Because when the bull market hits, it doesn't recover back to these prices. It recovers a lot higher. So I look at bear markets as like the biggest opportunity of your life. If you just DCA in, just do every week or every month. Don't try timing the bottom. You'll get wrecked. Just let's say you have like 10 grand. I would go in like $1,000 a week for $1,000 a week and do it like 10 weeks at a time when you feel like it's comfortable, and then just hold it like that. I think DCAing to the bear market, like the people who bought all of the real estate during the 2008 crash, they're bazillionaires now. It's when everybody else is running that you want to go into the market. When everybody else contracts, you want to expand, and that's the game.
Yes.
Talk about the mental side of that, because a lot of people who experience like a market decline don't necessarily have assets to lose or like money in the market. But once you put money in there, right, and then you see it, you're like, okay, I got 100 grand in there, and then you're like, okay, now I got 75, now I have 50, and there's a gigantic mental piece of this that is really challenging for a lot of people to grasp. If you want to talk about that, because so many people.
Yes, 100%. So here's kind of my mind frame on it. I think, do you guys know Trayvon James?
I don't.
Trayvon? Okay,
he might.
Yes, and the whole community does. Yeah, we know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I love the guy. The reason I like listening to the guy is because he's been to like 2 bear markets, and he has a good mental frame on this. And he's basically like, okay, in the bear market, you want to look at your crypto number of coins. You don't want to look at your dollar value, and you want to get the number of coins up, and that's your only focus. Do not look at the dollar values. Because I can guarantee, and of course, like disclaimer, not financial advice, purely entertainment purposes. I can guarantee that if you sell now during these prices, you are going to be calling suicide hotline when the bull market starts and when the bull market ends. And a lot of people want to sell in the bear market and protect their wealth, and then they hop back into the bull market when it's new all-time highs. But that's when you lose 95% of all of the opportunity. Because let's say there's an asset, and the asset is at 1 cent. And by the time that Bitcoin hits its all-time high and then breaks the all-time high, and everybody's like, oh, bull market again, and everybody feels safe to go in, well, that asset that you could have bought at 1 cent could potentially be at 10 cents. And let's say in the bull market, that asset goes to $1. Well, if you bought at 10 cents, you only had a 10x. If you bought at 1 cent, you had 100x. That's the difference between starting at 1 grand and ending up at 10 grand or 100 grand. That's the difference. People need to learn to do math, man. So, and the way I kind of frame it as well is, if you were willing to buy, let's use Hex as an example. If you were willing to buy Hex at 50 cents, why are you not willing to buy it at 4 cents? Did the thesis change? So if you do your research, if you're a smart individual and you make a thesis before making an investment, then the only thing you need to ask yourself is, okay, the market is going down, but is my thesis still the same? And if your thesis is still the same, just commit to your decision and just keep buying.
Because that's how you're going to create that impact for yourself in the future. Because if you look at like the equities market, you have every couple of years, you have a drop in the equities market, maybe not a 90% drop, definitely not a 90% drop, but in every single circumstance that's come back over the last 100+ years, like every single time there's a drop, 20, 30, 40, 50%, it comes back. Right. And that's the opportunity to go through and purchase. Another interesting thing that I saw somewhere, maybe it was Richard Hart or something, but if you look at the time where it's kind of like prices might kind of like be sideways or not moving tremendously quick in one direction or the other, it's in that period a lot longer than it is in the points where there's like a tremendous amount of energy in one direction or the other direction. So that means you can just acquire a lot more stuff during this time. Not because prices are lower, but like there's no directional change tremendously in one direction or the other. So you get to, okay, cool. It's going to be 5-6 months, say at this price, maybe 12 months, whatever that might be. We don't know. Right. So you have a much bigger opportunity to increase that quantity of coins like you were just talking about, and then just hold on to them. You have to be like, okay with wherever you are financially enough to watch your bag go down. Maybe it goes down by another 50%, 75%, 80%, 90%. That's okay. Just continue.
Well, people don't want to input capital. That's pretty much the major problem. Nobody has capital to input. And then when there is capital in there, they use it because they don't have enough money. So it's like, if you really want to get to the nuts and bolts of it, most people don't invest because most people don't have the long-term mental acuity to continue to make money and invest it into the system. But with crypto, it's nice because you only have to do it once. Really, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. If you invest the right way in a bear market, you never have to invest again. if you do it with
some decent capital, yep.
If I only had one more shot to do it, I would say it'll probably be 90% of my bag moving for the rest of my life, because there's only so many 93% dips. Once but you have to experience it to understand it. So it's like you have to go through that. I think, like I always say, like people that haven't gone through anything always people that haven't gone through anything always suck at life, because people that haven't suffered enough, like I know men that have suffered not enough. They need
100%.
They need to suffer more. They're not ready. They cannot look me in the face and do anything that I do because they haven't been punched hard enough.
You want to hear the story?
What's that?
You want to hear the story? Because I have a crazy like gladiator life story. I think this will give value.
Absolutely.
So I'll try to keep it short because it's actually pretty freaking crazy. I get emotional talking about it. So ever since I was like 17, I wanted to become an entrepreneur because I knew that the normal system wasn't going to get me there, and I wanted to do massive things. I've always kind of had these visions as a little dude of like me speaking on stages, helping millions of people, like being of impact to millions of lives, and it's always kind of stuck with me. So I went into business, and the first business I ran was a nightlife company, and we would organize like these youth events with like the biggest artists in the country, and every artist was like 20K, 30K to get them booked for a night. So we were basically doing it off of loans. So we would do these nightlife events, and okay, a couple went well, and it's a horrible business model. Please, if you do nightlife events, don't. But it's a horrible business model. So we did, and we made like $2,000 profit, $3,000 profit, like, and then we had like one night where we did like a $12,000 profit, and it's pretty good if you're like 19, 20. And so we did a big event. It was for 3,000 people, and we didn't sell enough tickets, but we signed all of the contracts with the artists. One artist was like $36,000, the other artist was like $22,000. We had $0 to our name, and we had zero a month coming in. We had to cancel that event, but we still had to honor the contracts. So that was one of the deepest points of my life. We had debt collectors knocking on our door. I was living together with my business partner in an apartment, and we literally had to take all of our computer gear and tables and go hide them and work in the basement of our parents because we were afraid that the debt collectors were going to collect them and take it. So me and my friend, my business partner, I love the guy to death. He's like my ride or die. And if he's watching it, he'll know who he is. And we would set our Alarmy. Do you know the Alarmy app? So Alarmy is basically an app you can use on your phone, and you can set, okay, I'll wake up at 5 a.m. Or let's use that as an example. And then you're forced to take a picture of your like coffee machine or whatever, so that it knows that you're out of bed. And otherwise the alarm doesn't stop. So we would set that alarm at like 4 a.m. because it was either like, we either need to wait, because we had two choices. Either I had to go work a job for the rest of my life and pay off my debt basically for the next 30 years with the interest and everything, and I would be completely screwed. Or we go for the entrepreneur route and we hit it running. So we would wake up at 4 a.m. We would stumble out of bed. We would kind of almost black out in the kitchen. We would drink our coffee. I would literally go to bed, crawl up in a fetus position, and cry myself to sleep because I didn't see a way out. But we would wake up at 4 a.m. I would go to the beach, and I would basically speak myself into psychosis. I had my future written down, and I would speak it out loud on the beach at 4 a.m., continuously to myself over and over again to talk myself into psychosis. And then at 8 a.m., I would go door-to-door selling and doing cold calls to get marketing clients. And I did that for 6 months. And after a year and a half, we were able to pay off or $50,000 and 50,000 euros at that point in debt. But that was literally the hardest period of my life. We were featured in seven newspapers as the complete failures of the town. 7 newspapers. Everybody was laughing at us. I had like 2 friends left. I used to be like one of the most popular people in my town. 2 friends left. So cold calling, crying myself to sleep, door knocking, dude. And ever since I went to that period, and now everything is completely good, it's like I'm fearless, man. Nothing fucking phases me. Yeah, you know. So the suffering thing you say is fucking 1,000% true.
I'm the same way, dude. Like it's like
Yeah.
this. People think this is suffering. Like, come on, give me a break. You have not done anything if you think your little number on your account going down is ruining your life.
If you think that's suffering, bro, like,
dude, yeah. I was like, people were like, dude, you're not gonna survive past 22 if you keep acting the way you're acting. And I was like, probably not. Like in my head, like, you know, I didn't think for 1 second. I knew I always felt like I had advantages on people, but I wasn't certain if my mental health would have been to the point that it is now. Like I didn't know that could happen. And now my mental health's really good. So it's like, yeah, it's unstoppable. It's like, I haven't been depressed in years. It's like, I've already gone through so much unnecessary turmoil, some necessary, some unnecessary, some self-created misery that my ego was putting me through for years because I was trying to be someone that I wasn't, or whatever it is, you know, the whole like growing up, getting older. Now I'm at the point, it's like, you know how many L's I've taken, dude? It's like in this, to me, like even quitting my job and starting this channel with no revenue, like not really a big issue at all. I don't give a fuck. Like after 2 days, I was like, I could smoke everyone at this. Like literally, like that's how I think about everything. So I have the confidence in myself because I have prior experience where I did the same thing. I remember people were like, I remember looking at magazines and I was like, I'm gonna figure out how to look like that guy. Everyone told me I can't, and now my calves are probably more ripped than anyone I've ever met in my life, and I don't even fuck with those things that much. But you know what I mean? Like you can turn into the person that you dreamed of your whole life. Yes. That's actually what you do if you allow fear not to like run your life. Which most people, let's be honest, fear runs their life. They'd be crying themselves to sleep if their girl left them for 7 months. Give me a break. It's ridiculous. You see, my girl dumped me, and I didn't miss a show or other than when I was like, damn, my girl dumped me, and like I'll mention her every once in a while, like that was rough. But like, dude, I didn't lose a minute of sleep. I didn't lose a minute of work ethic. I didn't lose a minute of unnecessary thinking because I'm just past that point. I don't care if a girl wants to come in here. I don't care if she's a model or a normal chick or a regular chick. Get the fuck out if you're not benefiting me. I don't care. I wasn't born on this earth to just please random people that are good looking. Like
Jake, thanks for sharing that story.
That was an amazing.
No.
That was amazing, Jake. That was amazing.
Yeah, no, I went through certain circumstances in my life, and it's, you know, it reminds me of the time, you know, I trusted the wrong person and they stole money from me, you know, 40 grand worth of me. And I'm like going through that over the past 12, 18 months. So it's like, I'm recognizing that in your story and seeing that there's a lot of people that are so abnormally risk averse to anything in life that any type of abnormality throws them off the rocker. Like, you know what I mean? If you come over and push me, like it doesn't affect me, but you come over and push that person who's so risk averse, who hasn't ever taken any type of like adverse, you know, thing that they went through in their life, it throws them off, and they're like on the ground from that kind of thing. And so those embracing those things, because that's actually your strength. Like a lot of the strength of where you come from today in terms of not having the anxiety or mental like space of where you're at today has been built on the shit that you had to go through to get to where you are today. And it's interesting hearing your story, because that's so important, because that's why you are who you are today, by going through that entire experience. You know, everybody's got their own version, you know, at least here, the three of us, Bullish has shared some stuff with us too. Like everybody's got that own experience where they go through. And
but I don't have to ask when someone's coming at me with detail, orientation, and passion in their life. I don't have to ask them anymore. I'm way, just like if I see a girl in public, I could tell she's single the second I see her. I don't have to ask her. There's no, and anyone who's dated a lot would know that feeling. There is basically 99.999% of the time, if a girl in a faithful relationship walks in a room, I can tell that she's in a faithful relationship. Some girls are a little bit fringy, but
but then they're not really in a faithful
if you see
right?
something over and over and over and over again, like today, for example, I had an awkward situation at the gym. There's this dude at the gym that's like recording people and like asking them out on dates, but he like has this contact in his eye and it like records shit. And I'm like, or some weird ass shit like that. And I mistaked him for someone else. I got in this motherfucker's face like right away. I just walked over to him. I'm like, are you this guy from this YouTube channel? And he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I was like, shut the fuck up. And he got really scared and probably ruined his day. And then I realized that
and then you're like, sorry, bro.
And then I messaged my girl, or the girl that I was talking to at the time, and she was like, that's not him. And I was like, oh, snap. But, I could have made that ruin my day, and I kind of did for like a second. But instead, I just went up to him, and I was like, dude, there's this creep walking around, and I just was trying to, like, make sure he wouldn't do it again, and I thought it was you for a sec. And he was like, dude, thanks for saying that. And I was like, yeah, my bad.
No, yeah, but that takes the most strength. Yeah, that's hilarious.
horrible.
So, Jake, what are you most excited about that you're learning about that you're going through right now?
Pulse chain.
What excites you about Pulse Chain? Like, what about that is like you didn't get in on the sacrifice for Pulse Chain or Pulse X, did you?
Yeah, I did. I got into both.
Both? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, but you did not get into Hex.
I have like a couple grand in Hex, but I think it's like a 10-year stake, some extra.
So he was in the Hex like probably while the run up was kind of happening, kind of learning.
Yeah. I think it was like around 23 cents, something like that.
Yeah. So you watched.
I'm not even sweating
right now.
Yeah. Who gives a fuck? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
What was the question again?
What are you most excited about with what's taking place right now?
So I love the idea that Pulse Chain is a new project, and if it launches close to a bottom of a bear market, nobody can time it completely. But like as long as we don't drop like an extra 60%, it's good enough. So when Pulse Chain launches, it's a system state copy of Ethereum. I kind of have this weird thesis that if Pulse Chain launches, it could mark the bottom of the bear market just because of what a kind of economic behemoth this is. That's kind of my thesis. I think if Pulse Chain launches, because it's a new project, also is decorrelated from the market, because new projects, it takes a while for projects to get correlated to the market, right? Because a new project has this new project narrative to it. Like it's only a month old, it's only a week old, it's only 2 weeks old. People want to buy in independent of the bear market. It's going to be like the shiny little new beacon on the hill. It's going to bring a lot of excitement to crypto because everything gets copied over. That's super exciting. And then if we're close to the bottom of the bear market, the chart looks like this. It will go like this a little bit, a bit higher, and then bull market, and then we're off to the moon.
Yeah, I think we're close. I don't see it going.
I wouldn't mind another 60% drop. Like
I don't see it going under
because it's going to scare those motherfuckers. This is going to scare those people out. If we get another 60 or 70 or 80% drop from where we're at, like
that's the thing. It can cause an issue if it gets too low. Because you have buy wall floors, right? So it's like at some point you don't want it to lag so long that it doesn't catch steam, I guess. But
yeah, I was talking about Bitcoin, by the way, just in case. Yeah, I see Bitcoin potentially going to like 10.6 to 11.3K, worst case. Best case, 20K, and then it recovers like every other cycle because it's the previous all-time high.
Could it be best case that the bottom is in?
Yeah. I think if Bitcoin hits like 10.6 to 11.3K, that would be like a historical 85% drop. I think that will mark the bottom. If it goes lower than that, that would be a massive capitulation event on crypto. But I think that's the max the market can handle. I think that's max pain. But like decent pain is like the previous all-time high, which is 20K roughly for Bitcoin. Because I like looking at Bitcoin.
Do you see, because I see that like when you have the perception of safety, right? So you look at crypto as a whole and you see this one thing called Bitcoin, and there's a lot of people that perceive relative risk to alts, basically alts meaning anything that's not Bitcoin, and there's a flight to safety, right? So the same thing happens in US dollars. Globally, shit fucking goes to haywire, right? There's a lot of money that flows into dollars because there's a perception of safety, right? So I see that people say around 11K, right? And that's what Richard Hart has mentioned. But I also recognize that there's a flight to safety. And if you look at, I think it's TradingView dot something or whatever, you get to see when Luna happened, there's an immediate spike in the Bitcoin because it's a flight to safety. You get to like watch this happen. Fear, right? Luna's happening. This collapse is happening, right? And there's immediate transfer of wealth. Everybody's running for the door at the same time. And I think that because that's happening, it's possible there could be too many people flooding into Bitcoin to like hold it up above 11K. I don't know. I don't have the context, but I see that happening in the legacy. And I'm like, maybe that happens with Bitcoin and it doesn't actually, we don't get that dropping there, but we could still get another 50% drop in alts. If crazy shit happens, then more people flood into Bitcoin. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I believe crypto is still 100% a speculation market. The market is too small to like have those kind of thoughts. That's kind of my perspective on it, because crypto is like 1.2 trillion. That's a fucking small market. I think it's still like 100% speculation driven. So I think the rules hold true. I think until we hit like 10 trillion, okay, then it might start changing a little bit because it's a very mature market.
But do you still think like Tesla is speculation?
That's a good example. Because also like Netflix is basically moves like a shitcoin. I think tech stocks and crypto are like this. I think it's the exact same thing. I think tech stocks and crypto are getting valued the exact same way. Because if you see like the Netflix drop, it's also like down like 60%.
That was fucking crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have any stocks or anything like that, but out looking at all the normies that had that stock in their portfolio, like
yeah, and it was FANG. It was part of like the biggest tech stocks, like Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google.
It was time. Oh my god, it was time. Netflix shit the bed, to be honest.
Yeah, but like, if stocks can do that.
Mm-hmm. But at what point could you from at what point does the development, because like if you think of, I used to follow Tesla very heavily, right? And so Tesla's not that much older than crypto, right? And most people back in the day had no idea what crypto was, just like they had no idea what Tesla was. And now you have, Tesla is not quite $1 billion or $1 trillion, right? But they're a very large company. There's not even that great of a number of companies that are greater than $500 billion, right? Like in the world. And it's at that point. So do you still think that, given your belief that, crypto is still speculative, do you think that Tesla is still speculative, even though they're the largest like EV maker in the world? Then I'm curious. I'm not saying you need to push you one direction either. I'm just curious. I'm trying to understand the way you think about things.
It's interesting. So one thing I can say without going into personal finances, I'm 100% in crypto. I believe crypto is the stocks for the millennials. I think it's the stocks for the next generation. Because think about it, crypto is basically just a stock market that can be programmed economics-wise. It's the goddamn most genius thing in the entire world. And one thing I have a very controversial topic. I don't believe in diversification in crypto. Because if everything drops, everything drops. The fuck is the point of diversification? Because I see so many people buy like 20 different coins and they have a diversified portfolio. And then if everything goes down, everything goes down. Yeah. Good diversification, dumbass.
It's almost hedging yourself. It's almost hedging yourself to the downside. It's like you're hedging yourself to the downside because if one of those protocols goes off that you had big faith in, you didn't put enough money into it, and it's one of them is going to shine above the rest. But in a bear market, they're all going to drop 93%. You're going to feel wrecked anyway.
Yeah, so I don't believe in diversification in crypto. I believe in diversification, like crypto outside of crypto, like real estate and stuff like that. That's true diversification. But like buying multiple protocols and like stuff you maybe research for like 2 minutes and this one for 30 minutes and this one for 40 minutes. I'm like a dude that puts like 300 hours in and I make my decisions and I stick to my decisions. And that's how you make big money. I think Warren Buffett, not financial advice, Warren Buffett was the one that talked about it. You only need one company like Coca-Cola to make you wealthy as a motherfucker.
Yes.
You don't need 200 things. You need one thing. I need to invest over it for a long period of time, have a solid thesis, and that's how you win.
And now we have software we can look at.
Yeah, and now we have 3 things. We have Hex, Pulse, and Pulse X.
And incentive token and your Hedron that gets copied over and your Pulse Doge that you got for free that copies over and your Maxi, if you minted 1 for 1, that's going over. You have all those things. And all your ERC20s will be copied. What do you think that'll do to the sell pressure on Hex? Like, do you see Hex having like a because there are people that think Hex is going to have a major bull run when, and it very well could happen, of course. What do you think? Like, do you think, like, I guess you already mentioned that you think if it's the bottom of the bear market, then I don't know. There's so many facts. You could speculate all day about what's going to happen, but I don't think this is max pain, because last year I was buying Hex for less than it is now. Right. So think about that. Is that max pain breaking even on the year?
Yeah.
Good point.
Yes.
I don't know. Those same people were buying that whole year.
That's a good point. Yeah. And it's also, once you understand this whole like max pain perspective in the markets, you get to deal with it. Like, is this max pain? No. But then when you're at the point like, I don't believe anything anymore, I want to sell everything, that's probably max pain. And if you sell at that point, you're just a dumbass. If you know about max pain, if you know about these things, please don't be a dumbass. It's as simple as that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like you're going to feel emotional turmoil. It's built in. So deal with it. Learn how to deal with your emotions and learn how to have a good life. Like, having a good life has nothing to do with the buy button on crypto other than your finances. Like, I don't have very much extra money because I choose not to at the moment. I choose to invest most of my money at this moment in my life. And my life's great. Like, my quality of life's like 10 times better than all these millionaires. And I'm smiling ear to ear all day. I have good relationships. I have good guy friends. I have, stuff to do. I have stuff to research all day long if I want to. I have a yard that I can work on all the time. Life's good, man. Like, stop worrying so much about this, that, and the other. I think most people, they're the reason that they suck. Like, they think their way into sucking. You have to stop thinking, and you just have to do the stuff that you're supposed to do. The emotions will come. They come and then they go, and then you're still working on your yard. So it doesn't make a fucking difference. You know what I mean? Like, if, let's say I get broken up with today, or like something hurt my feelings real bad, and I'm like, oh shit, like my yard's still going to get weed whacked today. I will make sure, and there's no person in this world that could stop me from doing my gym routine today. I'm going tanning today, and then I am going to work on my yard. Period. End of story. I might crack a beer at the end of the day. Who the hell knows? But I create my life. I pick and choose what goes on. The feelings that God gave me in my brain, those will come and go. You know what I mean? But the stuff that I have to do remains on the checklist.
And those same people that we're talking about that during times of market turmoil, they might sell, right? Or lose conviction and make foolish decisions are the same type of people that also, it has to be said, in the opposite direction. So at some point we will hit a bull market. And when you have a 10 or 100 or 1,000x, 1,000x on $1,000 is $1 million, right? So you put $1,000 in and you have 1,000x and you got $1 million now. Like, you have to recognize that, like, when you come into all of this, not that much, like $1 million, a lot of money, but not necessarily it's gonna, you know what I mean? But anyways, the point is, a lot of money, people make foolish decisions because they haven't had those hurtful times where it builds character and mental strength to be able to, hey, recognize that these things are going to happen. Because those same type of people that are going to sell when the prices go down, the same type of people that when there's 1,000x, they're going to do something stupid and waste that money. Like, they're going to do something foolish around those times because they haven't built that the character that is needed. They haven't gone through the hard times. They haven't done business. They haven't done like stupid shit that fucked up already in their life. And then they're like, oh damn, definitely need to live a stronger life or be a better leader in my life to move forward. And so, like, it's going to happen the opposite direction. We're going to see pictures on Twitter of foolish shit happening. And then we're going to enter into a bear market and they're like, oh fuck, I never should have done that thing. Right? Because we know it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. We'll just be having this conversation in 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, whenever it does happen. Like, it's bound to happen.
Like, I want to mention something because of my YouTube channel now, I kind of see the sentiment of the market in my comments. And I saw like 2 guys commenting on my channel, and they were like, oh yeah, because I did like a price prediction thing based on liquidity pool ratios, what the starting price of pools might be, just an assumption. And they were like, oh, if this thing does a 20x, I'm going to be like worth $2 million. I'm going to sell everything. I'm like, guys, Jesus fucking Christ. It's like these guys are like so lost, and these are the guys that are commenting. They see like these tweets of like, "Oh, this guy sold BTC at like 30 cents. He's a dumbass," and they're like, "Oh, dumbass," and then they're acting like the same dumbass. It's like this is such a common thing in crypto. It's like people cannot accept the idea of having wealth. They need to destroy it in some way because they love self-sabotaging. It's when Pulse launches and it does a 10x. Let's use a 10x as an example. A 10x is nothing in crypto. If you look at that $1 million, if you invested like 100 grand or you sacrificed 100 grand for legal terms, and it's like $1 million, do you really want to wreck yourself? It's the start of a project. This thing will be here 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You're going to be so much more wealthy at that point. And I learned it from like my internet marketing background. And you have a lot of these people who make like, they make like 50 grand in a month, and then they sit there with 50 grand in their bank account. And then these people ask questions like, okay, what would you do with 50 grand in your bank account? And everybody instantly goes to, how do I spend 50 grand? How about you just let the 50 grand sit and accept that you have money now? Why do you need to go back to zero? And
unless you're going to invest into your business or yourself in some capacity, yes, exactly. You don't need to fucking waste it on dumb shit, vacations and cars and all that shit. Let's figure out how to get that 50 grand to 150 grand or 250 grand a month.
Exactly, and you buy assets. That's how you get it. You buy assets and you continue to buy assets, and that's the game.
Yeah, I'll be broke until I'm really well off. Like, people don't understand that. Like, I don't care what nobody thinks about me. I'm gonna sit here until I'm well off. Like, I will, and everyone will watch.
And everybody has their own number. For some people, it's like 1 million. For some people, it's 30 million. For some people, it's like 300 million.
For me, it's just like, I don't have to deal with my bills for the next 20 years, and I can.
What do you have a number, Jesse? And then Jake, what is
it's probably like 10 million where I can start. Well, at this moment, but in 5 years, the number would be much different.
Jake, do you have a number?
I'll be a dude that keeps working forever, but my number would be like 30 million, where I'm like 30 million liquid, and I'm like, okay, I could stop now if I wanted. Yeah, because you have like this.
Imagine your LP checks at that point. I mean, come on, guys. Like, we know how to
yield generation. Yeah,
it's just like come on.
I'll admit I'll have a nice car though. I like cars.
I want a car would be nice. But no, guys, I'm kidding. I got my car. My car got absolutely wrecked, and then the insurance company screwed me. But that's how life works sometimes, guys. This has been an absolutely amazing show. I'm really happy I got to meet you today, Jake. This has been full of value, guys. Make sure you smash that like right now. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. We come at you live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. And I'm going to start throwing in a couple late episodes because I got a couple guys that can never, it's like 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. at this time where they live. So I'm going to do a couple episodes with the guys in Asia at night that I need to have on my show. Silver the Antidote Axis. I want to do another episode with them where we break down everything and we ask all the questions that I have listed for him. And then there's a couple other guys. Smash the like, guys. Hit the subscribe button. Go to Sam's profile. Hit the smash the like button.
Hit the smash
button. Go to Jake's profile. I was his 1,000th sub.
Links are in the description for Jake.
Perfect.
Thank you.
It's been absolutely a pleasure. Any closing words from y'all's?
Go ahead, Jake.
You go. You go first.
If you guys want to learn more about arbitrage and there's current opportunity in arbitrage, I'll have a video out on that shortly after this stream ends between Hex, Hedron, and Maxi. And I'm talking about what that is and actually how you can take advantage of it with actual prices from V3 Uniswap. So that's going to be out shortly. Also, jump below to Twitter, link down below. Press the follow button over there. And if you like crypto-related stuff, I'm on there daily. Jake, what do you got to show?
Basically, just follow me on Twitter at inkay777. You'll probably see me around on Twitter. Just hit the follow button. And then when it comes to my YouTube, just look up Jake Sharpe, this thing over here. You'll find, I think, Jake Sharpe. Look up Jake Sharpe Crypto. Go to my channel. I put a lot of content on Pulse Chain, Pulse X, more from like a dev analytical point of view. And I also want to make sure that people get wealthy when they follow me. So that's a nice benefit.
Yeah, and if anyone wants
none of it is financial advice.
And if anyone wants his link to his YouTube channel and Twitter are below in the description.
Perfect.
Yep, and I want everybody to say that Bullish has a freaking awesome accent. He sounds like a hustler. I love it.
He is a hustler, yes.
Shout out to Wales Only and Crypto Games, my fellow New Yorkers in the chat.
I'm from New York too, brother. Leaving me out, Sonny.
You're not there right now, though.
I don't feel as if he has.
I don't want to be in New York.
I don't feel as if he has an accent. Like I wouldn't. I guess that's because I'm from his like ish.
You're from Northeast, you know, somewhat,
Yeah.
so you're kind of used to it.
Yeah, like to me, that's just like normal. But and I listen to a lot of the rappers from that area. Not gonna lie, and they all have similar verbiage. So guys, everyone have a great day. Just remember, like if you're really down and out about your finances, you're a pussy, literally. So stop doing that. You should literally be focusing on the things that you can do today to fix the situation you're in, and then go to bed. And then if you have
and then make some gains in the gym.
and if you have relationships, you should be as honest with those people in your life as you possibly can. It's not always easy, but you should be the person that's the most honest. It helps you out. It helps your brand and it helps your reputation. And that's what we see in the crypto industry. No one has a good reputation. Why? Because they're all lying pieces of garbage. That's the only reason. They have no backbone. They haven't been through enough. They haven't seen what's reality. They haven't seen reality hard enough. Wales, you're my guy. We all have the same 24 hours. This is Crypto in the Morning, coming at you live every single day. Let's outro it, Bullish.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stay. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim Reddit sent me to show you the way. Crypto in the morning.